Hey everyone, Zerdy here, and today are the Q&A results. A lot of you guys had asked me some questions, and I'll be answering them today. Some questions I may not answer due to me not knowing the answer, or just me not being comfortable enough to answer them. Anyways, let's begin. So the first question comes from Glendora Thomas. They ask, will you ever make Roblox vids? Well, I don't really do gaming videos in general, so me doing Roblox videos, if you mean like me playing Roblox or whatever, I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe there might be a case where I could like test out stuff like Friday Night Blocks In, where they have some of my songs on there. I don't know, that's really the only thing I can think of, but yeah, I'm not sure. Carno Productions asks, which drawing do you find the easiest? For some reason, the first drawing that comes to mind is this picture of Kirby that I drew like 5 years ago. It just did not take long at all to draw. How many people ask you, can I request a drawing? Not as much as you think actually, but I still do tend to get asked that sometimes, and it's not that annoying, but yeah, I still get it sometimes. How do I summon a lemon? Personally, I don't know, but remember, Carno, when life gives you lemons, you give lemons your life. Max and Ruby Fanatic 2.0 asks, have you ever heard of Shovelware brand game? Yeah, yes, I have. I've been seeing a bunch of YouTube videos about it, and I actually think it's super cool considering the fact that it has like the old like peanut butter jelly time banana in there. Luke Crabwalker asks, what does Red Star look like from the front? I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure, but I do remember an instance. I think when I don't remember how old I was, but I think I was a lot younger. But I think I remember I drew his like head looking sort of like this sort of shape, and I don't know if I'm gonna consider that official, but like I'll mess around with it and see if it looks good. But that may be like what it looks like. I'm not sure. What does the Zerdy universe look like? I mean, it takes place in like a regular, like the regular universe that we all live in, I guess. But it's just like it just takes place on like different, like on a different planet and stuff, and like a different galaxy and whatnot. It's hard to explain exactly, but yeah, like that's just kind of the general idea. This is not really a question, but Leo looks like he gained depression after dropping ice cream on the sidewalk. No offense. Fair enough. Yeah, no, I feel like if Leo were to drop ice cream on the sidewalk, he either would be pissed off or just wouldn't care. One of the two. Just depends on how he's feeling. Edgar on Carranza asks, Sturdy, do you know Rainbow Kitty 101? Yes or no? Yeah, I've actually heard of them, unfortunately. I heard like they've done some not good stuff. I don't really remember that well, but yeah, that's just all I remember hearing. What are your thoughts on Alexis 45678? I have no idea who that is. Are you going to make a rant on Friday Night Funk Fucked Up Community? Well, first off, I don't make rant videos, and second, are you sure you're not confusing me with someone like the package reviewer? Because he's the one that does rant videos, not me. Meme Boy 69 asks, favorite YTP Invasion character, excluding Dr. Octagonopus? Shit. It's definitely gotta be Lone Warrior. And that's not just because, like, I made a song for him, but he's obviously, like, directly tied to, like, flip notes and whatnot, and, like, flip notes were, like, my first introduction to animation and whatnot, and, like, why my characters, like, are even a thing. So, yeah, I give Flipnote and stuff a lot of credit. Thoughts on Final Triple by Moity? I actually have never heard of that until, like, you asked that, so I looked it up before recording this and took a quick glance at it. It's decent, I mean, I suppose. It's just another Triple Trouble remix, I guess. Favorite video game? Well, that spot goes to Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. I got this game when it came out back when I was 6 years old, and 14 years later, it's still amazing in my opinion. I really like it a lot. Venomelon White Tea asks, will you make another EXE game? No, I stopped making games like back in 2016 when I left Scratch. What was your reaction when you reached 30,000 subscribers? I don't remember exactly what my reaction was since it was a few years ago, but I remember my family had like surprised me with like this cake or whatever. And I don't know if I have a picture of it, but if I do, then I'll show it on screen right now. But I thought that was such a pleasant surprise. Question number 3 says face reveal. I wouldn't count on it, honestly. Logan Demedia Man 85 asks, favorite cartoon art style? I'm not sure if I have a specific favorite art style, but I do have a few, so I'll put them up on screen. Brandon Deluxe 2 asks, do you have unseen videos that you didn't upload yet or never? Well, as of right now, I have the new versions of Firing and Laser and the new collateral cutscene for YTP Invasion that I haven't uploaded yet because, well, the new version of the mod hasn't come out yet. So, until then, you guys don't see it, ha ha ha. No, but for real, I think you guys will enjoy it. Whatever happened to Percy Origins? Percy Origins was a really disorganized project. Like first off, not only did I barely start it, but it was made around the time when I was not feeling that great. And so making that project was basically adding on to the already full plate that I had of other projects that I had at the time, and it was overwhelming. Although, since I'm making the new characters, I am planning to work on a, origin type of story, featuring a bunch of them. I wouldn't say, be super hyped for it yet, because, I'm still, far from done. But, I think it'll be interesting if I ever get to that, get to the finishing point of that. Who voice acted Unit 13? Since Unit 13 only had a voice in Reimagined, the person that voiced him, I think nowadays I'm allowed to reveal who voiced him. The voice actor of Unit 13 from Reimagined was somebody by the name of Jokestroid. The reason their name was marked as private when the video came out was due to reasons that I would rather not get into, but mainly because I don't really remember, but also just because, it's just private business, I guess. Sparky Plush X asks, what was your main inspiration or inspirations? Well, a lot of the stuff that inspired me back then was stuff like Mario and Sonic and just a bunch of different video games and cartoons that I liked growing up, as well as, stuff like SpongeBob and Mickey Mouse. And, that inspired me to kind of just, create characters of my own, whether that be, directly inspired by certain things or just stuff that I had made up on my own. Are we going to see any of your characters in a future project? Like I stated a little before, I do plan to kind of work on an origin sort of story involving a bunch of them, but again, that's far from done, and I still have yet to even finish the story itself. So again, I wouldn't be too excited just yet, but just know that it's something that's in consideration, and it'll be something that I'll try to maybe work on more often. Last but not least, what's in store for the future of this channel? Oh, more art and music, animations, and just random shit, I guess. I don't know, it's just, I don't know, I just kind of upload whatever I feel like, really. If this ever makes it into the video, thanks for answering these questions, and have a nice day or whatever time it may be. Well, thank you, Sparky. Hope you have a good day, too. To Savior Sparta asks, why didn't you make Sparta remixes a lot? I actually did. I made quite a lot. It's just most of them are gone now just because I just kind of grew unproud of them, I guess. I did talk about this kind of stuff in the older content video that I made, so for those of you who haven't watched it and are wondering about that kind of stuff, I strongly recommend you watch that because, I made that video for a reason. D. Craw asks, how are you doing? Doing good. It's currently 9:30 at the time I'm recording this specific part, so I'm slightly tired, but I'm good. Why did you start YouTube? Well, I started this YouTube channel when I was 9 years old, because when I was a kid, I was just like, oh, wouldn't it be so cool if, I uploaded a video to the internet, into YouTube and all that? It was pretty much just, a kid wanting to just upload shit to the internet because it was cool, I guess. Super Jarcy64 asks, have you ever played Sonic Robo Blast 2? I actually have played that game before, although I'm pretty sure I only played it once, 3 years ago, because some of my friends were like, hey, do you want to play this game? And I'm like, sure. It was either that, or, it was the kart one, the racing game. I don't know if those two games are the same thing. I don't really know much about it, to be honest, but either way, it was fun. What is your favorite film? I have a very hard time answering this question because there's so many movies that I liked. One movie that comes to mind almost immediately was a childhood favorite of mine, and that was Wreck-It Ralph. When this movie came out, I thought it was just the coolest thing ever because it had so many old game characters that I recognized at that age. It was great. Though I'm pretty sure with the new Mario movie coming out, that's probably going to be my new favorite movie. Is animated James real or just a bad memory?
Animated James is real.
Yeah, but animated James, okay, he's real. Alright? He's a real, he has a real fetish.
Boogie Tom White T asks, during when you make videos, are there times when you usually struggle on certain things, whether it be a specific character animation? Well, when I'm working on stuff like animations, I feel the most difficult part, depending on certain scenes, is layering, because For instance, there would be times where like an object or like a certain thing on the screen is moving, like an arm or just like a head or whatever that, doesn't remain in place. And so I'll have to layer it like kind of like differently and move it around differently. It's not like a painful process, but it can be a little annoying depending on what I'm trying to do. Mao asks, what inspired you to make your OCs? Like I'm not referring to only Zerdy, like all of them. Well, it was numerous different things. Like it was just in general, it was just cartoons and video games that I grew up with, and it heavily like influenced like the way that they are, I guess, to some extent. Like for example, Zerdy was inspired off of characters like Mario and Sonic. Blue Kid was inspired off of characters like Luigi and Tails and so on. Although one character in particular that didn't take inspiration from a like actual original character was Percy. His design was inspired by Dr. Octagonopus from the Laser Collection. To some people that may be obvious, but for those who didn't know, well now you know. Another example is that Red Star didn't really have any inspirations. It just was kind of something I made in like 2 minutes and then was like, yep, this is a design. And then just kind of cleaned it up a bit and then just kind of just used it, I guess. And one last example is like Leo was inspired off of characters like Squidward Tentacles and Mandy from The Grim Adventures of Bill and... Antho the Sonic fan asks, favorite Friday Night Funkin' mod? I don't have a specific favorite, but some examples that I can think of are Hazy River versus Tricky,
fucking do a fucking review.
Wednesday's Infidelity versus Sonic EXE, Mistful Crimson Morning. Golden Apple is one that I actually didn't think I would like at first, but grew to like it. And then, oh man, there's so many. Versus Tord was another one that I liked a lot, despite it being like super simple. Happy Tree Funkers is another one that I really liked. Witty was cool. But yeah, I don't think I have like a specific favorite. It's just been like numerous different mods that I've liked. Favorite Sonic game? That one would be Sonic 3 and Knuckles. How you draw hands? I mainly just look up references on how to draw hands, because, well, I mean, I didn't start off drawing hands very well. Sometimes I actually would look at my own hands when drawing and just kind of sometimes use that as reference, like depending on what I was doing. But yeah, I mean, those are just some ideas. Cash asks, what would you say to the viewers that's been watching your content since 2014? Hello. I'm surprised you've been watching for this long. Hope you enjoy what I do nowadays as compared to what I used to do years ago. What was mostly your favorite thing about your channel? I think my favorite thing about my channel is not really just the content, but just the people that I've met that I think are pretty talented. It's honestly been really fun for the past like several years. Do you have any advice for any people that are slowly growing into popularity? All I can really say is be consistent as to what you do. Yeah, depending on like if you're making your own original stuff or if you're like making content based on something that's already popular. Yeah, I mean just, keep doing what you're doing and you'll get there eventually. Counter Spartan asks, why are you not uploading Sparta remixes? Well, that's because I stopped doing Sparta remixes like 5 years ago. It just got boring for me, and I don't really have any interest in continuing them at all. Maybe one day I could do like a video that like is kind of like a throwback thing, but I don't know. Emmanuel Yabut asks, do you ever plan on making another series like The Fifth in the future? If you mean like the RPG sort of style, probably not. Like I kind of stopped doing that a long time ago. And plus it just won't really work because of the new ideas that I have and all that. But if you mean like story-wise, where like Leo, betrayed the good guys and whatnot, I do actually still like that idea and I'm considering like rewriting it somehow. But again, it's just ideas at this point. Was it a bad idea to upload my FNF models of your characters, including half the newer designs to Scratch? And honestly, it's whatever. Like, I don't go on Scratch anymore. I stopped going on there a long time ago. The only time that I had logged on for like multiple times was back when I was making like the 10 years of Zerdy thing, because I had to go back and like re-archive some files so I could actually like, find the designs of Zerdy that I wanted to add. But, yes. Scratch is just something that I'm not going to come back to. I left it when I was 14, and I'm especially not coming back to it now because I'm a 20-year-old man. I'm not like 14 or 12 anymore. Not really a question, but in a way, Fake Zerdy's design sort of reminds me of Zerdy.exe, but Zerdy isn't an exe. I think I like vaguely remember that game, or if it was a game. If it's not, then I apologize, but it probably was. Well, the thing is with Fake Zerdy is like it was directly inspired off of like Faker Sonic, like more as like a joke, because I was just like, oh, wouldn't it be so funny if I made like a fake version of Zerdy like this? And after I made it, I actually ended up really liking the design, and so I just kept it and made it canon somewhere down the line. Who is your favorite YTP Invasion character? Well, I do have another favorite. So aside from Dr. Octagonopus and Lone Warrior, it's definitely got to be Black Hiver. That character is just fucking cool. Logan asks, here's my questions. Will Zerdy.exe return? I don't know about it returning necessarily, especially not the way it was before. Although I have like tried like a couple times to like kind of redesign it and try to like kind of come up with new ideas for it. Like for example, instead of it being a clone of Zerdy, it would just be Zerdy like under the influence of like another force, or basically just him just getting possessed. Which I think is a better idea considering, like, we already have, like, 2 clones of Zerdy, which, you know, that being Verdi and Fake Zerdy. So, you know, a third clone would, I feel, would just be excessive. I'm not saying it's official, nor is it canon, necessarily, at least, you know, not yet, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Do you have Discord? Yeah, I do, but I don't really, like, give it up publicly anymore. What is your favorite song in the YTP FNF mod? I gotta say, like, well, if we're talking about the songs in version 2, which, like, yeah, the mod's getting an update, but for now I'll just talk about the songs in version 2. I actually really liked Collateral. It had a vibe to it that I just really liked, and I'm not really sure how to describe it exactly. Oh, and not to mention it has Dat Boy in it, so, you know, instantly the best song. No, I'm kidding. Manfu Mall asks, is there any FNF songs that you would want to make out of anything? Well, I've had a few ideas regarding that where it would just involve, like, my OCs. Like, for example, I wanted to make a FNF song based on, like, the 2012 version of my character, and it would kind of work like how Hatena did, where it would be, like, a remix of, like, an old song, or I guess in this case for the Zerdy thing, it would be, I guess, multiple songs that I liked growing up around that time of my life. I don't know, I thought it was a neat idea. I also had thought about my other OCs as well, but I didn't get very far with it. The one concept that's outside of my OCs that I had an idea for a long time ago was a Poochie and Pansy FNF mod. I'll have the picture that I drew up here right now. I don't know, and I thought this was a cool idea because, like, I don't think there's a mod of this yet, and I think it could actually be, like, really cool if done right. A very quick summary as to what this is for those who don't know what the hell Poochie and Pansy is. It's basically an old, like, horror ARG series, and yeah, you can find out the rest on your own. What inspired your art style? Oh, that's easy. Laser collection. When I was 9, I was very, like, inspired by, like, the animation style and the just general art style of the laser collection. I don't know why it stuck with me so much. I just really liked the way it looked, and I remember I used to spend hours drawing, like, Dr. Octagonopus and, like, some of the other characters from the series. I don't remember if I drew Randall as much. Definitely not as much. Yeah, I used to spend a lot of time drawing Dr. Octagonopus, and then that eventually then sparked the idea of Percy. Nowadays, my style may not resemble that style as much, but back then, yeah, I was definitely inspired by that. You can definitely see what I mean if you watch the Flipnote archive video in the 2012 section. Are you a classed epic swagger? Perhaps. Not related, but I hope you are doing well, man. Thanks, Molly. I hope you're doing well, too. Anasia Unica asked, what does Verdi's voice sound like? Well, none of my characters have, like, a set voice. It's more of just, like, kind of ideas and headcanons of what they could sound like. For Verdi, I have an idea, he kind of sounds like, for Verdi, he kind of has more of, like, a raspy sort of voice, I guess, and just, like, kind of an aggressive sounding one, I guess. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Though something that comes to mind right away is if you've ever seen the Underfell animation called Doomfinger, and if you listen to what Papyrus sounds like, that it's pretty much sounds almost like that in a way.
Why do you sound like you swallowed a cheese grater?
Because I had tonsillitis as a child. You know that. You were there.
Whatever.
But yeah, it wouldn't completely sound just like that, but you know, it's close. Dark Blue Productions asks, do you have plans to watch the Mario movie? Oh, definitely. At the time I'm recording this, it's currently Wednesday, which, yeah, I know that's when the movie came out, but I was at work and I don't really have a lot of time to see it right now, so I'm gonna watch it this weekend. Duplicus asks, any favorite Flipnote Hatena or Pseudomomo creators? Well, one that was a really huge inspiration to me back when I was 9 was someone named Shiny Eevee. At the time I'm recording this, I don't remember what username they go by now, but when I'm editing this, I'll put it on the screen. I also knew them for a video that they uploaded on YouTube. It was called, like, I make a flip note or something, and it was quite literally what the title said. It was just them making a flip note. I think it was like them animating over like a gourmet race remix or something. But yeah, as a kid, I just thought that was fascinating, and like their art style I thought was pretty cool. Have any inspirations for your art and music? Like I said, a lot of my art from like way back then was from like the laser collection, and nowadays it's kind of just like a mixture of different stuff, I guess. But yeah, but nowadays I kind of just have formed like my own style. And for music, my music started off being like remixes of like Sparta remix stuff and like making my own like custom basses and whatnot. But over time, I, began to make like custom Undertale, like Megalovania songs, and then that kind of slowly formed into what my music sounds like now. Skyro and Zerdy, for some reason, joined a hairstyling contest. Who would win? Well, I think the both of them should put a bunch of hair gel in their hair and then dunk their heads in a tub of water, and then whoever's hair stays up the longest wins. It probably wouldn't work, but it'd be funny. Cash asks, do you plan on something else like making music or animations? That's pretty much what I do on this channel. Which one do you pick on the music studios? If you mean like what software I use, it's FL Studio, specifically version 20. Which one do you use on the animation studios? Again, if you're referring to what I use to animate, it's not really an animation software. I use Sony Vegas Pro. I draw everything on GIMP and then I export all the pictures and then animate them in Sony Vegas. I know that may sound like a pain in the ass and like a really like rigorous process, but it's not too hard once you get used to it. I've been doing it since like 2016 or so. Red Fire Red asks, why is Leo always pissed? Like, seriously, I never see him happy anymore on the official channel. I wouldn't say he's always pissed. I'd say he's more of just moody. I mean, he can get angry, yes. And he's not really, like, not happy anymore. I mean, he can be happy. It's just, I have yet to draw him like that. But yeah, every friend group needs the moody teenager, I suppose. Arthur asks, what's up, Zerdy? This guy. Speedy asks, do you remember Zach and the animations that he did based on your characters? Yeah, I still remember them because people have been sending me them for a while. Over 6 years, I'm pretty sure. And it hasn't gotten less annoying, so that's fun. Are you still friends with Zach? I haven't talked to him in like 4 years, so no. Is the user Blue Kid your brother or your friend? Blue Kid's my brother. The thing is, Zerdy and Blue Kid were originally self-inserts before I then made them like they're completely separate from me and my brother, so. Minty Leaf asks, are you the straightest white man to exist? Yes. This question applies to their devs, and it might be obvious, but how is the production of the new YTP Invasion updates going along? I've seen some previews and teasers of it, and they look interesting. It's actually been going really well recently as far as I've seen. Coding wise, it's been going well. There's still some stuff that needs to get done, so it may be a little bit longer. But if things go well, we might be able to get things done by May, probably? I don't know. We'll see. What OC of yours do you love a lot? That one's hard to pick. Some ones that I really like as of recently are Leo, Verdi, and Marcy. Star Stuff asks, what do you think about the Mario movie? Well, at the time of recording this, I have not seen it, so once I do see it, who knows, maybe I'll make like a community post about it or something, I don't know. Who's your favorite character in the Zerdy gang? Leo. Albertronic asks, what got you inspired of making Sparta remixes? Well, I used to watch them like all the time when I was like a little kid, and I was like, oh, I should learn how to do that. And so once I got the right like software and stuff, I started making them, and I progressively got better. And then, of course, stopped at some point. I made joke about being like, oh, I hate Sparta remixes or whatever, that I don't like them anymore. But I do give them credit for, being the reason why I knew how to do music and stuff. So, what's your opinions on creepypasta? I still like creepypasta. I mean, there's the whole like, oh, it's just fake, edgy bullshit. But, I still enjoy one every once in a while. Last question. Since there's Verdi and Dark Kid, are there any other evil versions of your characters? As of right now, no. Fake Zerdy doesn't count, because Fake Zerdy's not an evil character. He's just very wacky and weird. I mean, the bro has deformed pupils and no teeth, for crying out loud. Although I do remember in 2013, I had this like dumb idea where I was like, oh, I should make evil versions of like Percy and Red Star. And I don't know about Leo yet because he wasn't really a main character yet, I don't think. But yeah, that was an idea that was quickly scrapped because I was like, that's a bit much. Star Supernova 59 asks, you've pretty much moved on from stuff like Reimagined, but what if you got a group of animators to help make the series? Would you possibly bring it back if that was the case? No. I've said this before, but I'm not bringing back Reimagined or any of like the old like Zerdy.exe content back. Once again, if you haven't seen this, I recommend you watch it because it talks about stuff like that. Would you ever make a new animated series with your OCs? I don't know about an animated series, but I could definitely try doing comics. An example, I guess, would be sort of like the Eddsworld comics and whatnot. Maybe not exactly like that, but that's just kind of like the first thing that comes to mind when I think of that kind of stuff. Guest Matthew asks, who's your favorite character you made? I know I've said Leo, but another one that I am really proud of recently is Leader, which is basically like the pre-robot form before he became Unit 13. I'm both proud of that and the Unit 13 redesign. I think they turned out exactly how I wanted them to, and I'm really proud of it. Anthony Johnson asks, are you going to remake the fifth in the future? Well, no, maybe not the series, but probably like the idea of like the story and stuff. Yeah, I might consider remaking, or just thinking of new ideas for it eventually. I don't know. Is Leo moody and not happy anymore? Again, yeah, he's moody, but like he's not like completely like drained of happiness. Like it's like he can be happy. It's just not shown a lot. What happened to Emily's hair? She got a haircut. Scaroot asks, what do you think of snakes?
I'm not afraid of shit! Stop snakes.
Edgeworld fan asks, have you ever heard about Scott Pilgrim vs. the World? I don't know anything about it, but yeah, I've heard about it before. It has a pretty neat art style from what I've seen. Glitchy asks, thoughts on Five Nights at Freddy's? I still do like Five Nights at Freddy's. I haven't really gotten into like a lot of the other games, but I've definitely played like the first 4 games before. They're honestly really good. Do you have any past in game development? I used to use Scratch when I was really young, but that's about it. Song commissions when. If I ever were to do commissions of any kind, it would probably be like art commissions, because music would take a while, and art just takes a lot less time to do. Ed Cakes asks, favorite drink? High C Fruit Punch. Eddie Dude asks, will you plan on making Mario's Madness version 2 covers in the update of the mod releases? If you mean like vocal covers, probably not, but if you mean like song remixes kind of covers, maybe. If there's a song from it that I really like, then I might consider it. What would your honest reaction be if you would have seen Zerdy Allstars.exe? I don't know if that's a real thing or not, and honestly, I don't really care to know. I mean, if someone makes that, then whatever, I guess. But I mean, I wouldn't really prefer it personally. But are you gonna remake your old content later this year? I'm not sure. It depends on what it is.
How do I shot wet? Oh my god, it's Alfred Molina.
Dr. Octagonopus.
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?